Holy. It's hard to imagine what this place is like during the storm, but this kind of paints a picture. This place is going to be condemned. Wow. Wow. I don't really know what to say. Other than St. Pete Beach got sand. They got a beach nourishment. And everything's fine. Alright, well, last time I skated around my town and showed you guys what my town looked like. I got a ton of comments, people asking about the surrounding towns. I know a lot of you guys that watch the channel visit from other areas and visit other areas other than my hometown when you go on vacation. A lot of people have been asking about the south end of Pinellas. So I'm outside Caddys on Sunset Beach, and I'm going to give you guys the tour of not only Sunset but St. Pete Beach, and we're going to also drive through Madeira, Reddington, etc. If you're only looking for a specific beach town, I have the timestamps in the description so that's easier for you guys to navigate. As you can see, Caddys on the beach. Doesn't seem like it's going to be opening anytime soon. I haven't seen much, but I know I'm not going to like what I'm going to see. This is my first time actually out at sunset, and actually this far south since the hurricane. I have not been down this way, but I grew up surfing down here. Spent a lot of time in this area, so we're going to check it out, see how bad it is, see how much has been done. Not a bad day if you like looking for seashells, though. Damn. Gonna see a lot of that. Okay, that's the house next to Caddys. Caddys, oh my gosh. This place used to be like all outdoor seating. There was cabanas all over the place here. I'll see if I can find a picture of what it used to look like. I had a friend that worked here as well. It looks like they tried to dig out, but man, I can't imagine what this place looked like during the storm. Ew. Oh, that sucks. All right, we got some skateboards. We're just gonna go skate around the town the same way I did for my town. This place I don't think is gonna recover entirely. That place has got some music going. God, like nowhere to skate. There's sand everywhere. All right, well, hey, look, something survived. Haha. Holy. Some stuff did not. All right, so we're there. We're gonna make our way all the way down and then around and back, because I heard Sunset Beach got hit harder than almost anywhere. Jeez, this house got smoked. Still some city workers out here cleaning up. To my knowledge, there's about 6 to 8 feet of sand underneath every single one of these houses. Holy. Well, there's where the sand stacked up to. That looks untouched from the storm. Oh my God. Holy sh**. I'm assuming this place is going to be condemned. Oh my God, there's so much sand. That's unbelievable. It's like 4 feet. And they cleared off this, but I can promise you that wasn't always like that. Used to be a downstairs. I can't imagine how big the waves were here. Well, hey, you know, I'm sure this was full of water, but it's not. Or full of salt water and sand, but it's not. It looks pretty good. Jeez. Wow. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Whoa. Well, that's where I used to park to check the waves. Holy sh! That is a pool. Or it used to be. That's true. Sheesh. This is wild. I knew it got it bad down here. I mean, I heard everybody talking about it, but seeing it is wild. Something I wanted to touch up on really quick too was the fact that FEMA sucks. Oh my God, does FEMA suck? Yeah, like 700 bucks, I think. 750 bucks, what they offered people who lost everything that they own in their homes. The worst part about it is I've heard from people who are private contractors working with FEMA that are actually in charge of sending out the letters that let people know whether they're allowed to rebuild or not. If your house is more than 50% damaged, then it has to be condemned. And from what I hear, nearly every single house, not every single house, we'll say 70 to 80% of the houses on the island that got flooded, FEMA is saying that they're more than 50% damaged and they're completely condemned. I think that that is sickening. Who the f do these people think that they are? To tell hundreds of people who've lived here for 50 plus years, that they have to destroy their house if they want to keep living there. It's like, oh, you want to live here still? Well, you have to destroy your home. Whether or not you think you can rebuild it or fix it is not up to you. It's up to them. And I think that that's just disgusting. And I think that if FEMA's telling you that your house is condemned and you can't rebuild it, fuck them. Do it anyways. What are they going to do? Just ignore them. That's kind of what I've been hearing. But look at this. Unbelievable. This is more or less what I expected the other pool to look like. Whew. Oh my gosh. Alarms going off. People used to live in all of these places. I'm sure they were evicted. Not evicted, I don't even know. Displaced? Is that the word, displaced? Sheesh. Not the beach access I remember growing up, but sheesh. Whew. It's hard to imagine what this place was like during the storm, but this kind of paints a picture. I've never seen anything like this in my whole life. Every single house, serious damage. Single story houses. You just hope they're still here after all that. This was always one of my favorite houses on Sunset. I'm glad it made it. It's a cool house. Well, this parking lot's almost completely unrecognizable. It's where we filmed dressing up as snakes and going surfing. It's one of the most popular surf spots on the Gulf. I don't like surfing here. There's too many people. There used to be rock piles. There used to be boardwalks. several boardwalks, a lot more vegetation, sand dunes. Now it's just insane. There's nothing here. Sheesh. There's pretty much an unlimited amount of damage out here. Everywhere you look, there's a house that's destroyed. I know a lot of people are concerned about the area, and that's why they want to watch these videos. I know a lot of people are curious, and that's why they want to watch these videos. I think it's good to get these videos out there so that people don't come try to sightsee. You don't need to sightsee when you have a video that you can just watch. Oh my God, where is the sidewalk? Not right there. I can't even tell half the time anymore. Sheesh. Fortunately, there's a lot of places in the area that just aren't going to recover. That will probably just be leveled, that have been here for a very, very long time. It's wild too, because even if you want to rebuild, you can't unless FEMA says you can. So, go figure. Dang. What? This boardwalk used to go all the way down to the rocks and all the way around the corner. This is how we accessed one of our favorite surf spots. Not anymore. They're still cleaning. That's good. Looking for the water line. If there is one anywhere. Or if everybody cleaned it up. Damn, these places are all gonna be condemned. That's everything. This place is gonna be condemned. Sheesh. That place doesn't look like it's had anything happen since the storm. Same with this place. Oh my God. I don't think that they've even done anything besides move people out of that place. This place has lights on, that's cool. High enough, I guess. These places are okay, that place still has lights on. Still people working. Constantly working. Heaven's a little closer at the beach. I've gotten yelled at for parking on this street so many times. When you are allowed to park on this street, they just make it, it's like to pretend like you can't. But I don't think anybody's gonna yell at us anymore. Still work trucks everywhere. Coming up on half a year. That's wild. Third of a year. This place is 2 blocks from the beach. Two blocks from the beach still. About as bad as it could have been. It's just so much sand. So much sand that didn't used to be here. It's wild. All right. Let's wrap up sunset. Head to St. Pete Beach. Sunset, you know, people are starting to rebuild. But unfortunately, it kind of looks the way that everybody said that it would. Sand stacked up. There's like 6 to 8 feet of sand across the road in some places. We're rebuilding though. I think the strangest thing at this point is the amount of traffic. There's tons of cars driving up and down the street at all times. I can't seem to figure out whether these people live here if they're just sightseeing or if they're trying to scoop up and buy a property via someone else's tragedy. I really couldn't tell you. All I know is I gotta get out of the road. Wow, look. It's all still here. It's wild that... All right, let's get into conspiracies, everybody. It's wild that the area of town that did get the beach renourishment didn't nearly have as much damage. Not even close. Like, look, this is like, it's like this place didn't even have a hurricane. What is this guy doing? No way. The full wetsuit, hood, boots, gloves. You're gnarly, dude. A lot of talk around the town about beach renourishment. Let's talk about it. When waves are in open ocean, there's nothing to stop them from moving forward. When waves hit shallow water, they start to lose power, especially after they break, right? Okay, you guys following me? If the beach is 100 yards long, that is 100 yards where the waves are slowing down. Where I live, we have not had beach renourishment done in, I don't know how long, this long. I'd rather be accurate on screen than guess. This place got beach renourishment. I don't see like any of these single story places where I'm at completely destroyed. Like, no question whatsoever. These places all look fine. Is it possible that if we had beach renourishment on Indian Rocks Beach, that not as much water would have crossed the apex of Gulf Boulevard, of the highest above sea level land that we have in the town is the street, it's Gulf Boulevard. Would as nearly as much water have crossed Gulf Boulevard, causing the entire town to flood if we had an extra 200 to 300 feet of sand? It doesn't take a genius to either know or consider that we would not nearly have as much water crossing over Gulf Boulevard into the intercoastal, causing the entire neighborhood to flood. So I can't even explain to you what our town looked like, but it didn't look like this. It didn't have sea oats. We didn't still have our volleyball nets. We didn't have our boardwalks. We didn't even have houses on the beach that were okay. There was not one single story house on the beach that didn't get damaged where I live, where the beach is small. Here, where the beach is large, I mean, I know they got damaged and I know they got flooding, but just seeing our town versus this town, it's not even the same place. Not even close. This to me is proof that beach renourishment does do a lot. How much water wouldn't have made it across Gulf Boulevard and wouldn't have flooded all of the neighborhoods and all the surrounding neighborhoods if the beaches had an extra 200 to 300 feet of sand? There's really no way to know exactly, okay? I'm gonna admit that, but to think that it wouldn't have stopped a significant amount of water. Like, instead of 5 feet of water in people's homes, there might have been like a foot, half a foot, maybe not even that, maybe no water at all. Because if the waves break soon enough and there's enough shallow water to keep the force of the waves out of people's backyards and going across the street, neighborhoods don't flood. I don't have to spell it out for you guys to know that that's just common sense. Wow. I don't really know what to say other than St. Pete Beach got sand. They got a beach renourishment and everything's fine. Like, it's all fine. I mean, it's not all fine. I'm not gonna pretend like there wasn't some significant damage on St. Pete Beach, because there absolutely was. But I can't even find structure damage. I can't even find damaged seawalls. I can't even find a damaged, like, cabana shack. Everything looks fine here. Why? I'll tell you why. Because of the amount of sand. Beach renourishment. That's it. That's all. Look, their fence got a little hit. But, dude, like, look at how big the beach is here. Look at how much sand the waves have to travel across before entering people's backyards. I pleaded with the city. I went and stood in front of them and begged them to put sand in. I said, as somebody who's lived here my entire life, being a surfer that's lived here my entire life, I'm telling you, if you don't get sand put in behind our houses, you are going to regret it. We're going to have waves breaking through people's backyards. It's going to be bad. I don't think that there's really much else to talk about or to show you guys out here, because I've come to a pretty simple conclusion, and that's, if you don't renourish the beach, a hurricane's going to destroy your hometown. And to all the people that say that the beach renourishment causes more problems than it does good, you are stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. People that say that it's a waste of taxpayers' dollars. Ooh, if you want me to make a dedicated video about this, I will. I mean, not like this isn't already one, but this was kind of just more showing you guys what's going on. But seeing what I just saw on Sunset versus seeing what I'm seeing here in St. Pete, it's such a crazy contrast between complete destruction and just like cosmetic damage and like people losing their lives and like towns that are fine. Wow. You know, I was gonna keep driving around St. Pete, but I don't think that there's that much to see. I mean, there is. I could go find damaged houses. I could go find houses that were flooded. But I don't think there's going to be nearly as many condemned homes in this area, given the fact that it didn't flood nearly as much. You don't got to be a genius to see that this beach is fine. All the sea oats are still there. All the sand dunes are still there. All the boardwalks are still there. Sunset Beach, all the way to Clearwater, destroyed. Those are also the only beaches that didn't receive beach renourishment. The contrast is just, it's baffling. And if anybody wants to argue that I don't know what I'm talking about, I really don't care, because you don't know what you're talking about. You are uneducated. It's not your fault. This is sobering to see. I did not expect to see such a wild contrast between a town that had beach renourishment and all the towns that didn't. But I think more so than ever, we are aware of how important it is to renourish the beaches on the barrier islands that are man-made in the first place, okay? I hate to break it to you, but this is not naturally forming. What you're looking at, like you see the palm trees of fingers that are all in the intercoastals, those don't naturally form like that, guys. Nor do the beaches. Some beaches do, sure. Not these ones. All right, so, you know, some places are gutted, surely, but like, they have plants. Like that, this yard didn't even flood at all. There's no water made it to here at all. That, you cannot say that on Gulf Boulevard, on this side of the road, for anywhere else that is north of Sunset Beach. And that is mind-blowing. I knew that beach renourishment played an important role in keeping water out of people's backyards and in people's houses, but this is just like, wow. I don't know what to say. Like the video to support my dreams, future hurricane relief videos. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Just tell me anything. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on this, because there's a lot of people that are just completely ass backwards. Like, I don't want my tax dollars to go towards some rich person's beach behind their house. Like, if you live in Florida and you never go to the beach, I want you to contemplate your reasons for living here in the first place. 2, every single beach that you step on in Florida, on the Gulf Coast at least, has had some work done. If we're talking Pinellas County, every single beach in Pinellas County is dredged and is man-made, okay? Get over it. It's a fact. If you visit the beaches and you sit your ass on the beach and you suntan out here, don't tell me that you don't want your tax-paying dollars to go towards beach renourishment. Because it's not just going towards beach renourishment. It's literally a barrier to keep the ocean from going into your living room. But the city doesn't come to me for answers. Actually, it's kind of the exact opposite. They completely disregard any of our efforts and any of our opinions whatsoever. I went in front of them and I told them that this was gonna happen. They didn't listen to me. Nobody listens to me. Some of you listen to me, I don't know. I'm just ranting at this point, but I'm also frustrated. So, I mean, I would be filming out the window, but do you guys want to see what a perfectly fine neighborhood looks like? Oh wow, look, oh wow, look at all the trees. Look, they have lawns here. Everything's fine. Like, it's granted it's been 100 days. They could have reseeded everything and laid everything, but I really don't think that that's the case. I think that the water just simply didn't make it here because the beach is so large. And if the water can't make it over the road and flood into the intercoastal, then it doesn't rise and it doesn't flood the entire neighborhood. I mean, surely there was some water here. Like, I mean, you know, we're really close to the intercoastal. It'd be ridiculous to think that some of this didn't flood, but it wasn't catastrophic flooding like we saw in my town. You know why? Because I guarantee you, if we pull out, take a right here, we drive out to the beach, we're gonna see a whole lot of sand. And that sand protected all these houses and this entire neighborhood. Look at this boatyard. It's fine. Everything's fine here. I thought it would be worse only because I didn't know how much sand St. Pete Beach had. Let's go check it out. This is gonna be the last thing that I do. This is gonna be the last thing that I film. Besides probably Reddington and Madeira on the way back, because you'll get, all right, we started with the worst. Now we're seeing, look, sea oats. There are none of these in my town. None whatsoever. The water made it to there and stopped. You know why? Because there's a lot of sand and a lot of beach. And the biggest waves that I've ever seen in my entire life broke out there, and they had to make it all the way across all this shallow water, all the way up to here before they could cross over the dunes, cross over the street, and flood the entire neighborhood. That did not happen here the way it did in my town. I know that there was flooding here. I know that there was a lot of damage here. I am just 100% convinced if it weren't for the dredging, this town would have gotten it as bad as my town. But they dredged here. The solution is there. I have the solution. It's to add more sand to the beaches. Whether they're gonna do it or not, I don't know. I'm so glad this place is fine. Like, I'm completely relieved. I expected this to be so much worse. But it's not. I mean, all this sand, granted, was probably spread across the entire town, and it took a lot of time for them to put everything back. But do you see any structural damage at all? Anywhere? Oh, is that a water line? It looked like a bit of a water line. They got a couple feet here, but I'm just a broken record, so I'll say the same thing over and over again. Would have been way worse if they didn't have beach or sand. See, like, I knew that there was going to be some places, but you got to also just account for the fact that we also had Milton, which was some of the craziest winds we've ever seen. Still removing sand, but wow. I'm not sure if this was Helene or Milton. I want to say this was Milton though, because like, you got to imagine 80-mile-an-hour wind blowing from that direction across this bay probably put the water into those houses. Because like, there's a lot of damage on this side, but there wasn't where we just were, which is the beach side, which tells me this is damage from Milton. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure that most of the damage in this area was from Milton, it seems like, not Helene. Which, you know, like this place, that had to have been Milton. This, I think that was Milton too, because nothing looks like this on the other side. This is west, that way is west, okay? Milton had wind this way, Helene had flooding from that way. It seems like anywhere that had direct wind from Milton, like blowing this way, got pretty smoked. All right, this is just about the last we're gonna see of St. Pete, and then we'll try to check out Madeira Beach and Reddington on the way back. These are the places that I would assume got the worst damage during Milton, not Helene. But compared to Sunset, compared to everywhere north of Sunset, St. Pete Beach looks pretty good. I did not expect it to look this good. I also didn't know how big the beaches were.